If you are in a diaspora, there's no other money transfer that you need to use other than Pay Angel. It's fast, secure, and convenient. And guess what? The exchange rate is off the roof. If you are interested in growing, uniting, and building Africa, use Pay Angel and also use the GUBA promo code.
Pay Angel, it's safe, fast, and secure.
Are you a diasporan looking to reconnect with your roots? Experience Ghana like never before with GUBA Tours. Explore historic landmarks such as the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, the Kakum National Park, Elmina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, just to mention few. GUBA Tours offer both sightseeing and culture lessons like drum lessons, cooking lessons, dancing lessons, and many other more. Cover rich cultures, breathtaking landscapes, and hidden gems as you journey back home. Trust GUBA Tours to make your visit unforgettable. Your heritage, your tour, only with GUBA Tours.
Welcome to your dream home, nestled in the heart of Accra's vibrant East Airport neighbourhood. Introducing the exquisite 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses by Spotlight Homes, where luxury meets convenience. Each townhouse boasts generous sized bedrooms, perfect for relaxation and comfort. With 2 spacious reception areas, you have ample room to entertain guests or enjoy quality family time. The open plan kitchen and living area create a seamless flow, making your home the ideal setting for both everyday living and special occasions. The well-designed layout includes a downstairs bedroom, offering flexibility and convenience for your family members or guests. Parking is never a concern, with adequate space to comfortably accommodate at least 2 cars. Additionally, each townhouse comes with a boys' quarters, ensuring privacy and extra space for your household needs. Discover the perfect blend of elegance and functionality with Spotlight Homes, where every detail is crafted to enhance your living experience. Welcome to your new home in East Airport, where comfort and luxury await you. For more information, visit us at spotlighthomesgh.com or feel free to call us and our dedicated team will be on standby to assist you with any queries you may have.
All right. Welcome. Happy new month. It is November 2024, and this is our monthly GDN Seat. GDN stands for GUBA Diaspora Network. We are a collection of diasporans who aspire to live in Ghana or actually do live in Ghana, whether you're a historical diasporan like myself from the US or you are Ghanaian who has moved abroad and now is returning back home. Nonetheless, this is the space for you to connect, for you to get to know each other, for you to find all the resources that you need, and to really just, reacclimate yourself back into the Ghana space. All right, so I'm super excited for you all to join us today. If you are watching live, go ahead in the chat and tell us where you are watching from. If you are not watching live, but you're catching the replay, don't worry. Please feel free to drop it in the comments. Still, let us know where you are coming from. So today we have a wonderful guest. Before I introduce him, I do want to give you an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about GDN from the mouth of one of our lovely GDN members. Now, we recently just dropped a video that speaks about some of our returnees coming to Ghana again, and this is actually the woman who put that tour together. So I'm going to let her tell you more about GDN and her experience in Ghana, and then we'll get to our guests. All right, enjoy.
I was blown away by Ghana from the moment that I landed. The people, of course, the culture, and the endless possibilities were like nothing that I'd ever experienced. My name is Coria Burns, and I'm a general sales manager for Radio 1 Atlanta. And I first visited Ghana in July of 2021. Since then, I've returned 12 times to visit, to relax, to give back, and to collaborate with GUBA Diaspora Network. They have been my connection, honestly, to all things Ghana, from real estate, investing, giving back, like I mentioned before, getting my Ghana card, visas, restaurants, hair salons, and even figuring out how to navigate financially since I'm there so often, you name it. They've been that for me. And because of GUBA, I was able to bring 17 of my friends to Ghana in September of 2023. The Odana Network highlighted this once-in-a-lifetime journey for them, and now it has over 325,000 views on YouTube. There's no way I could have done that on my own, and there's no one else that I would have trusted besides GDN. We've done 2 more journeys since then, 2 more group journeys. We're planning at least 2 for 2025, including a student trip for kids here in Atlanta between the ages of 14 to 18. That's going to mean so much to me. And sometimes I just shake my head because all I have to do is make one call, tap into one network, and everything I need is absolutely there. But I want to finish the same way that I started. Because GDN, GUBA Diaspora Network, is truly about people, about our people, and bridging the gap between the diaspora, or us in the diaspora, and the infinite possibilities and opportunities that exist to connect, to invest, and to grow with those in Ghana. Medasi, GDN, thank you so much for all that you do.
Wow. So you heard it straight from her, right? She has been able to do so much in Ghana with the help of our network. So if you are a person who is interested in learning more about Ghana, learning how you can come back home, learning how you can do business, get your hair done, work your finances out, whatever it may be that you're trying to do in Ghana, then GDN is the place to do that. So I'm going to post a QR code that you can scan with your phone. Scan that code to find more information about how you can join our amazing network. All right. And if you want to follow us, go ahead and jump on Instagram right now. At the bottom of the screen, you will see that we have our Instagram handle is at GUBA Diaspora Network. That way you can stay up to date on all of our events, all of the happenings, where we are, what we're doing, and really just kind of feel like you are a part of all the things, the beautiful, wonderful things that are happening in Ghana. And before I introduce our guests formally, we have December in Ghana. Dirty December is coming, y'all. And as always, GUBA is there for you. So on December 21st, we are having our annual executive cocktail mixer. This is where you're going to meet the who's who in Ghana, get to network, get to exchange contacts, stay in connection, and build together. In addition to that, on January 2nd, we're having our Diaspora Conversations. That is the annual event that we do where we bring all of our government entities into one house, as well as some of our private sector people and some of our returnees, and they give you all the gist on how to do this thing called moving back to Ghana. So if you're going to be here for Dirty December, make sure that those 2 events are ones that you pay attention to and that you register for when the link is available. Please go ahead and follow our Instagram so that you can stay up to date on when those tickets will be on sale, because they will be on sale soon. All right. Now, I know y'all came here to see our wonderful, wonderful guest. His name is Prosper. And first of all, that name alone lets you know that he's amazing, right? So his name is Prosper. He is an architectural lighting designer and consultant. He is the founder of the Lighting Hub. Why do I keep wanting to say agricultural? Maybe I need to be a farmer. Architectural Lighting Ghana. He graduated from Raverson University, now is Toronto Metropolitan University in Canada, although he's Ghanaian. He is a certified member of Leaders in Energy and Environment Design, LEAD, and also a member of the Dark Sky organization. He has been a lighting designer and consultant from some of the well-known lighting brands in Abu Dhabi, UAE, and has worked on projects including residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, healthcare, and sporting projects in the Middle East and Africa. His vision is to create awareness on how lighting affects humans and always create a great lighting atmosphere for people while making sure we protect the environment. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Give him a round of applause. Let's welcome Prosper to the GDN seat. Hi,
Hi, hi Zali, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm living.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
welcome to the GDN seat. We do this monthly where we pull up some of our members to really kind of talk about their experience
Mhm.
relocating back to Ghana or doing business in Ghana, and for them to tell us more about who they are, what their business is, what they're doing. So we're very excited to have you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. And what you do is something that people don't think about. And I always tell people like there's a million and one ways to like make a living for yourself. You just
Yeah.
have to find your lane and stay in it. So when people think about lighting, right? For me, I'm a lighting person because I know that lighting can set moods, it can shift
Mm-hmm.
energy, it can do all of that. But a lot of people don't even think about it. The whole time they're in their house and they're trying to figure out why they can't get happy. Maybe it's your lighting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
Yeah. You're
you know.
right. 100%. Yeah.
So we're going to jump into that. But before we do it, I want to give the audience an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about you as a
Okay.
person. So can you tell us a bit about your background before you became, the founder of the Lighting Hub? What, initially sparked your interest in lighting and design and where you're from?
Okay. So, as you said earlier, I'm a Ghanaian, born and raised, only traveled outside for school and then worked in Dubai and came back. Now, how the whole lighting journey started for me is I was born into a family of lighting, let me put it that way, because my mom started a lighting business way back. I think she was one of the early people to start trading in lighting. And growing up in an environment like that, you usually would pick up some of these things as you grow up. So in the process of, being my mom's child and then working with her growing up, I realized there was a big gap because you
Mm-hmm.
have people coming in to buy lights and fixtures and they actually have no idea of what they are buying. And these guys were supposed to be people with, let me say, some knowledge in lighting because you have electrical engineers coming in, you have electricians coming in, and these guys lack a lot of knowledge in the things they are even purchasing.
Mm,
And back then, as little as I was, I noticed I even had more knowledge in the products they were buying than even some of them. So I was like, okay, then why not just investigate more about it and see what I can actually come up with? So I started researching and then found out that okay, I should actually go to school for it and not just sit in my mommy's company and then see what's going on. So I
mm-hmm.
went to school for it, and then that's where like the eye opener happened because I noticed there was a very large environment for lighting than what I've been exposed to. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, let me take this thing to the next level, do more research, do more projects works on that. And then I eventually decided to start the business out of it.
Awesome. So basically, it started as watching your mom and her entrepreneurial journey,
Yeah.
kind of picking up pieces as you're going, sparking your
Hmm.
interest, and really just being inquisitive, right?
Yes.
And I think that that's something that is we don't talk about a lot in these conversations when it comes
Hmm.
to relocating back home to Ghana, whether you're like
Yeah.
yourself and you were from here but you schooled outside, and
Hmm.
then those who are new to the space, right? Just having
Yeah.
a natural curiosity will lead you into directions that will definitely make a way for you in this
Yeah.
space. So,
True.
speaking of that, like what inspired your decision to relocate back to Ghana and establish your business in Ghana? Because, as you said, you went and schooled outside. And we know a lot of our people, once they go, they don't really come back unless it's just to visit. But you decided to
Yeah.
bring business back. So, what inspired that?
I mean, after school, moving to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
it was a good environment for me because I had every opportunity to stay. And as we all know, I mean, Dubai is like at the top when it comes to real estate development, when it comes to technology and some of these things. So I
Mm-hmm.
had every opportunity that I needed to, expand and then increase my knowledge in the whole architectural lighting space and all of that. But then, as I said earlier, I noticed a problem down here before I even left. I knew there was a problem. So going out there, getting enough knowledge, going to school for it, getting a lot of experience back in UAE. At a point, deep down, I knew I had to come back and fix this problem.
Yeah.
So, in as much as I was living out there, working out there, enjoying my stay there, enjoying my colleagues and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, deep down, I knew there was a problem back home for me to fix.
So how did
So,
you know the exact like moment that like convinced you like this is the right time? Because what a lot of people struggle with is like, yeah, I want to go home, I want to go home, but and they never get to that like decisive moment of like, okay, this is the right time. So how did you get to or maybe give us an example of like the specific moment you were like, this is the right timing for me to go back.
okay. So, when I was in Dubai, I from time to time you have to come back home and then visit the family and then go
Mm-hmm.
back. And it's like anytime I come back, I see more problems in the system down here because you
Mm-hmm.
see people misusing light anyhow, no proper light management. And with our problem with the whole doom source situation down here, power crisis down in Ghana and all of that, you come back and you see some of these things. Now I go back, and in as much as I'm out there, I still have this whole heavy burden on me that you are out here working, gaining experience and all of that. But back home, there's still a problem. And I feel like the more I waited, the more difficult it would get for me to get back and start fixing some of these things. So
Mm-hmm.
one time I was just there and I was like, look, I woke up one morning and that was it. I was like, I think it's time for me to go back.
It was almost
And that
like a
was,
divine tapping, like, hello, it's time.
yeah. I woke up one morning and I just had this strong sensation. I was like, look, you know what, I have to go back. And that was it for me. I just spoke to my people, packed up my stuff, called my parents that, look, I'm coming. They were
How
like,
long
okay.
ago was that? When did you make the official move?
That was about 6 years ago.
Ah, okay. So we came around the same time. I moved to
Yeah.
Ghana in 2017. So
Yeah.
maybe like
About
a
six
year
years.
before.
Yeah. So, but it was about 6 years ago. That was when I just
Awesome.
made up my mind. I was like, look, I'm done. I'm going back home. Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you decided to make that decision. And you referenced something a few times. You like, I just kept seeing problems and people are using lights anyhow. What does that mean? Like, because most of us, all we know, we come in the house, we flip on the switch, the lights are on, ECG turns them off for doom soy, and then we're like, okay, we're just waiting. So when you say there's problems and people are using the lights anyhow, what does that really mean?
Okay. So first of all, I want to tackle this from the health aspect before we
Okay.
can get into the misusing of energy and the whole light pollution, environmental stuff. So
Okay.
first of all, lighting can affect um, humans in so many ways.
Mm,
Earlier on you mentioned something about mood and all of that.
yeah.
Lighting can affect us in so many ways, and we don't pay particular attention to some of these things.
Mm,
People light up their spaces without having any sort of guideline to guide them in how to go about it.
mm-hmm.
Now, right now, we have people complaining about depression and all of that. But if you take a critical look from studies, depression can be caused from terrible lighting in your space. Because if you
Mm.
have a very terrible lighting situation in your house, typically your bedroom, you go to bed and you're unable to sleep properly
So
because
what
of
would be
like,
considered a terrible light? Because I know in Ghana it's either that really bright white light or they have this like
mhm,
yellow tint light. This seems like the only
yes.
two in the market.
Yes. So Scientifically, there's a proper way to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the human beings, there's something called human-centric lighting, where
Mm-hmm.
we lay emphasis on the circadian rhythm. Now, when
Okay.
we talk about circadian rhythm simply means the internal biological clock of humans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this internal biological clock simply means how the human body is supposed to wake up, go through the day, and then go back to bed. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a cycle. You wake up in the morning, and most of these, or let me say, this particular thing is actually designed by sunlight. So when the
Okay.
sun is up, you are supposed to be up. When the sun goes down, you are supposed to go back to bed.
Gotcha.
Now, when the sun is rising, the intensity of the sun around morning till midday, there's a difference. Morning
Mm.
is a bit dim, midday is like full power, very
Yeah.
bright. Then as the sun sets, it goes back down. And then when you look at that would refer to the intensity of the light, how bright
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. So that should tell you that in the mornings, when you are still in your house or when you wake up from your bed, the intensity of the light in your space should not be so bright as compared to midday when you are at work.
Ah,
So the
okay.
brightness of light in your workspace should be brighter than the brightness of light in your relaxation spaces, which is your
Wait, say
bedroom, your
that one more
living area.
time. The brightness of your home versus the outside space. Explain that again.
Yes. So the brightness of the light in your workspaces
Okay.
should be brighter than that of what you have in your residential or your relaxation areas. So
Okay.
relaxation area could be your bedrooms, your living areas, your lounges, and all of that. So you have to know that the lighting level, which is probably the intensity of your bedroom, shouldn't be as bright as what you would have in your workspaces. That's the first thing, talking about brightness. Now,
Yeah.
you asked about the color of the light, whether you are doing more of the whitish or let me say the yellowish or the warm light
Hmm.
situation. When do you decide that I have to put a warm light in my space and I have to put a white light in my space? Scientifically, it follows the whole sunrise sunset situation. If you
Mm,
look at, let's say, from dawn till mid morning, the
hmm.
color of the sun is not very harsh and it has this whole warm feel, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as it gets into midday, everything is all white.
Hmm.
And then gets back to sunset, you have the whole yellowish or warm feel situation again. And as we know, most of the time we spend in the house are around the dawn or early morning situation in the houses. And then midday, you are in your workspace.
Yeah.
Sunset, you are back home. So you realize that most of the time you spend in the house, you are experiencing the warm light
Hmm.
situation.
Unless you
So
work
based
from
on,
home.
unless you work from home,
Yes.
you get it. So
Yeah.
usually workspaces is advisable to use a white light, and then relaxation spaces you use a warm light. So it
Got.
will be wrong for you to put a white light in your bedroom or in your relaxation or living area. It is wrong.
Mm,
And a lot
got.
of people don't know this.
And it's funny because when I used to be a teacher, and I
Mm-hmm.
taught high school. And in the US, high school starts very, very early in the morning. Like
Mm-hmm.
their first class is at 8, but they're in the buildings by like 7 a.m. So
Yeah.
it definitely, funny enough, it just naturally, I would always go in my room. I would keep one of the lights off so it was a bit more dim. And I always like candles.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have candles that were there because they had different fragrances. High
Yeah.
schoolers, all of they smells. I couldn't take it. So I was like, I have to
Mm-hmm.
have something in here. But it always gave a very nice, warm, like glow in the
Yeah.
morning. And then by as the day is going, I will always eventually put those out and then we just put on all the lights. So I feel like
Yeah.
that was something I was just naturally doing, like watching my
Mm-hmm.
students, watching how they behave. And I'm like, we need something to chill us out in the morning. Start the
Yeah.
morning easy. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's interesting that you said that that's the natural progression of how you should light your homes in a healthy way to give you like the best um best opportunity to have a natural
Mm-hmm.
flow or rhythm.
Flow.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean that's really really cool to know. So for all of y'all out there
Mhm.
trying to figure out how to light your homes, he just gave you a free tip. All right. But
Yeah.
I do want to get into it because you are definitely very knowledgeable about this area. So when we think
Mm-hmm.
about doing business in Ghana, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have the lighting hub, right?
Yeah.
And so what was your vision for the lighting hub when you first started, and how has the vision evolved since you've navigated and come into the Ghanaian business landscape?
Okay. So, as I said from the beginning, initially I felt like, I mean, there's a problem I needed to fix.
Mm-hmm.
That's making sure there's some sort of excellence when it comes to lighting in Ghana. But then along the line, I noticed after traveling around Africa, I noticed that the problem is not just Ghana. It cuts across almost the whole of Africa. So what I sat down with my team to discuss was, look, the problem is not just in Ghana, it cuts across the whole of Africa. But we have to start from somewhere, and this is home. So why not start from Ghana and then give ourselves like a couple of years and start expanding to some of the other African countries,
Mm,
because we sit in Ghana and then we end up working in projects. You'll be in Ghana and then they'll contact you from Dubai and be like, oh, there's a project in Africa that we need you to go take care of. And then you go and then you do your studies down there and you realize, look, this is a similar problem that we are having in Ghana.
mm-hmm.
So it's not just pertaining to Ghana, but it's across Africa. So we have to, my team and I have come together and we are like, look, after some couple of years, we need to start expanding to some of the other African countries and then
Mm.
start fixing the problem. So the whole idea now is not just to provide architectural lighting solutions to Ghana, but just look at Africa as a whole.
And that's a great plan because
Yeah,
GUBA is Grow Unite Build Africa,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not just Ghana. And so anytime what you can do for one, you can do for all. And so I think
Uh,
that's a great vision for you to have.
yeah.
So when you
Hmm.
think about some of the unique challenges and then some of the unique rewards, because everything is give and take. So what have
Yeah.
been some of those unique challenges and rewards that you've experienced while running your business in Ghana as compared to when you were abroad?
I think the major challenge down here has to do with people accepting change.
Say that one
That's the
again. I
that's the
that's the big one.
that's for me. I think that's the most challenging situation because as it stands now, Lighten Hub is the only architectural lighting firm in Ghana. There
Mm-hmm.
are other lighting companies around who are selling products, but there's nobody or no company doing architectural lighting solutions.
Mm,
So imagine introducing something new into the Ghanaian design and build industry, where very few people actually know about the service. They're
yeah.
already used to a particular way of doing things, and some way, somehow, they feel it's working for them, even though it may not be right. They feel it's working for them. So you trying to give them this new thing is a challenge because they don't understand the need why they need to switch. So we've
Yeah.
been doing a lot of education, a lot of trainings for some developers, for some architects, for some interior designers to create some sort of awareness on the need to have this service in the industry. Because I mean, when you go outside, it's there. They know it, they understand it. So you offering the service, they would easily embrace it. But down
Mm-hmm.
here, it's like it's new to them, and since it's new, they I mean, you know how it's difficult trying to push something new across.
Yeah.
That's the
I
first thing, and then
always
that's
say, I always say, it's each country has its personality,
yeah.
right? So prior to Ghana, I lived in South Africa. And, I've spent time traveling to and
Mhm.
from Nigeria. And I always say, like, there's some things that Ghanaians will easily spend money on, right?
Yeah,
Food, having a good time,
yeah.
weddings,
Hmm.
funerals, um, things like construction, building their house, right? Everybody has something they're building. They'll
Mm-hmm.
easily spend money on those things. But when you start talking about something like what you're selling, which is lighting and different fixtures of lighting and what it can do to you, I feel like that's not something that's not a part of our country personality to
No,
just
not at
jump
all.
into something new. That's not,
Mm-hmm.
the Ghanaian way. So I definitely understand that most
Yeah.
diasporans will always run into, especially if they're coming with something new, they will run into the
Mm-hmm.
challenge of you have to spend a good amount of time in your business educating before you're going to
Yes.
make the big sales that you are
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Whereas some
True.
countries, their personality is if they think it can benefit or make them some money or something, they're willing to jump in. They're more
And
willing
and
to
and and
do it.
that's true because, as you mentioned, we have some clients in South Africa, and I think
Mhm.
so far across Africa, it's South Africa and then some part of Tanzania that we've got like a lot of clients from,
Mhm.
because we have a lot of projects we've been working on in South Africa, because the partners we have from South Africa, they understand
Yeah.
what we are offering and they know it's something they need,
They see
you
the
know.
value.
So they see the value. So that's the next thing I was coming to, about people actually seeing the value of what you're doing. And I think it's because, as I said earlier, there's no some sort of understanding. So you
Mhm.
have to do a lot of education to draw
Yeah.
their attention to the fact that, look, you need this, you know. So that is where the challenge has been so far.
What
That's
about
where the
some of
challenge.
sorry to cut you off. What about some of the unique rewards that you've experienced in this space?
Um, I think so far the people we've come into contact with who actually appreciate what we are doing,
Mhm.
they do the work for us in terms of like referrals,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, because I've there are some great architects that I've been working with since I moved back. Um, After the first encounter and they saw the importance of what we are offering, they
Mhm.
just jumped on it. And it's been like almost every 2 3 months, you have somebody new coming in and you'll be like, it's from one of the people, you know.
Yeah.
So I think once people get to see the value and then they understand what you are offering, that is that. They just come on board, and that is so. I think so far, I mean, it's been good.
Definitely. I always say word of mouth moves faster in Ghana.
Yeah,
Right? It's like
very
if
true.
somebody like it's all about who knows you. It's not who you
You
know. It's who
no,
knows you.
who knows
And
you?
it's
Yeah,
exactly. And who is willing to like mention your name in the room when
great.
you're
Yeah.
not there. And then the next thing you know, out of nowhere, people are coming. I know when I
Mm-hmm.
first came to Ghana, I was doing education consulting, and my first contract came from someone I knew. She was the
Mm-hmm.
massage therapist for a principal or director over a school. And so
Okay.
just in that interaction of like her giving her a massage and she's like complaining, like, oh, my school, I need this, I need that. She's like, oh, I know somebody.
I know somebody.
Boom.
Yeah.
Contract. I was like, wow, like
Mm,
things don't move like that in the States. People can
yeah.
refer you, but there's still like a long process after the referral.
After the
Where
referral, yeah.
in Ghana, people like, oh no, if that person said it's so, it's so,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
they trust you. So that is something that I think is unique to the
Yeah.
African space in general. Like people really trust people's word, and you can get some
True.
really good clientele like that. So when
Yeah.
we look at strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how has Ghana's like business environment and the market potential, how has that influenced like your strategy with the lighting hub? Because business in Ghana is very different than other places. The
Mm-hmm.
strategy for Canada is not going to work in Ghana. So how,
Mm-hmm.
have you shifted up your way of
Yeah.
business?
So, people would say that having some of these things are luxury. Let me put it that way.
Mm,
So, yeah, that's what a lot of people feel like. I mean, it's luxury. So, in order for us not to also drift away from our vision,
Hmm.
where we are trying to fix a general problem. At the end of the day, it's also people appreciating value for money when it comes to
Yeah,
some of these things. Yes. So you have to be very careful when you are dealing with strategizing yourself to penetrate the market. You have to be very, very strategic, because at the end of the day, you cannot serve everybody.
yeah, that's
You
true.
know, you cannot serve everybody. There have been instances where you prepare an invoice for somebody and they'll be like what, this amount, I could use this amount to do A, B, C, D, and all of that. Why should I spend that amount on this? So at the end of the day, it's about creating a niche for, like, identifying your niche and you just tapping into it. Because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, you cannot provide a high-end service to everybody.
yeah.
So we had
And
to re-strategize, and then find ways and means, and just deal with the people who would actually appreciate the whole value for money situation.
definitely. And I think that's something for people who are interested in doing business in Ghana. Also, knowing in this context what people consider a luxury purchase versus
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Because let's say, like right now, I'm in North Carolina. If I were
Yeah.
building a home in North Carolina, I want to pick out my different lightings. I'm like, I want my living
Yeah.
room to feel like this. I
Mm-hmm.
want my bedroom to have the light where I can change the color of it
The
when I'm
color,
there.
yeah.
I'm used to picking out those type of
Picking
things,
out, yeah.
right? I want the underlighting for my
Mm-hmm.
TV and you're
Yeah.
used to that. But in Ghana, like when most people are building their homes, lighting is not the first thing on their mind.
No,
Not
just
even
slap one
close.
light in the ceiling and that's it.
Yeah, so this service might be something that people would consider to be a luxury item, right?
Yeah.
And whatever service you all who are watching are thinking about, your service might be considered a luxury item or not. So
Mm-hmm.
just kind of knowing the context, talking with other diasporans to see like what people are more prone to feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a day-to-day purchase versus not will also help you in like your market research, because you still
Mm-hmm.
need to do market research when you're coming and doing business.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
you,
for
you
you,
definitely.
yeah, for you all, the good part is you've opened yourself up to the continent, right? So what
Yeah.
may not work for all Ghanaians in Ghana, as you said, works for people who are building in Tanzania, people who are building
Yeah.
in South Africa. So as you're educating in Ghana, you're still able to make money in other African
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about opportunity, right? Opportunity is really solving problems. So
Mm-hmm.
what kind of opportunities have you discovered in Ghana that you think would be exciting for a new entrepreneur or an experienced entrepreneur who's coming into the Ghana space?
Okay. So I think I will still talk about energy. Down here we are facing a very huge crisis with our power situation, and it looks like a lot of people would want to have solar solution, but I mean, other people are also not. And I know from research, the cost of solar is still currently, it looks very expensive, but in the near future, it's gonna come down a little bit. So I feel like there's an opportunity for people to tap into that market down here.
Mm.
I know a couple of people who are doing it, but on a larger scale, I think there's an opportunity for people to tap into, you know,
I think the
because
issue with solar is the importing taxes, right? So like you're bringing in these solar panels, but if somebody had the resources to like produce solar powered stuff in Ghana, I feel like they could monopolize the game, because I don't know
yes, it's
anybody in Africa who's producing
sorry.
the solar
Yeah,
panels themselves.
I think it's something that's doable, with the right resources. I mean, it's just a matter of setting up a production plant down here.
Mm,
It's doable, and that's what I'm saying. It's something that in the future I think should be looked into.
mhm.
I've attended conferences and seminars where we talk about energy, and then sustainability conferences here and there, and everybody's talking about solar solutions here and there. So I think in the near future, it's one thing that we need to look at, because it's not so difficult to get into it. The only thing is, I mean, resources to get it done. Once you have the resources to set up here, I think that is good. You know, you have the right connect to get you some of these um, production machines that you will need. You just get them in, and you can just start to doing production assembling down here. I think it's
That,
a
I
it's a
mean,
it's a,
Pastor,
it's
that
a
might be your next step, right? That might be your next big
it's
thing.
something, my team and I, we've been looking into, because
Mm,
I mean, attending this sustainability conferences here and there, it's something we are looking into, but we are still planning towards that, and hopefully very soon we should be talking to some investors about it and see how best we can put that across, because we believe it's something that we need to actually take a look at, and not just the solar product, also LED lighting.
mm-hmm.
You know, there are like new generation of LED fixtures that are extra energy efficient than the ones we are used to on the market. You know, and I feel like with time we need to start looking at mass production down here instead of always importing them in.
Importing. The
Yeah,
importing is killing us. It really, really is in this market, because globally
yeah,
everybody's kind of taking a hit. So
yeah.
everybody's trying to figure out where they can pull money from. And a part of that is
Hmm.
what they're exporting. They're taxing it
Yeah.
higher. And so I definitely feel like, think about some other developing countries. What really pushed them out of just staying in that space was they were able to produce something, whether
Yeah.
it was um, cleaning their oil and then selling it to
Hmm.
the rest of the world, or
Yeah.
whether it was exporting their talent, like India with the
Hmm.
tech stuff. Like
Yeah.
they just took tech over.
Over. Yeah.
Or like the Philippines with these call centers and virtual assistants, like they
Mhm.
export their talent. So Ghana
Yeah.
has to, for the entrepreneurs out there and the investors who are watching,
Mhm.
here's something we all can do together. But really
Yeah.
looking at energy, solar, LED lighting, like how can we produce the materials here and then export it out, so
Yeah.
everyone is buying from us, and also not
Hmm.
undercutting the price, because sometimes when we export things we always lowball ourselves. When the rest
Yeah.
of the world is giving the global rate, we're giving something that
Hmm.
barely gives us any profit.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, that kind of leads us directly into the final questions, which are about your future plans and your vision. So I think you've shared a little bit of that when it comes to solar,
Hmm.
but outside of that, looking ahead, what are your next steps for the Lighting Hub? And are there any new
Okay.
products, any new services, locations,
Yes.
or things you're planning to introduce to us?
Yeah, so currently we are looking at expanding, building more partnerships with some of the real estate developers,
Mhm.
building partnership with some architectural studios, building partnership with some interior designers, just to, cover a vast number of people in the industry. So we are trying
Yeah.
to build partnership with all these associations and these companies. And then we are also looking at after studying our power situation down here, sometimes you bring some product with the European standard, the 220 to 240 volt situation, you bring them down here. And we have like crazy power surge situation here where the
Yeah.
voltage can go very high or go very low. So sometimes the surge protection components in some of these fixtures die out when they are exposed to these power fluctuation situations. Now, from
Mhm.
study, we've been able to come up with some protective components that can handle the spike in the voltage range. And then
Mm,
we use that in some of our projects where we tested it. So the voltage was raised as high as 300 volts and the light was still working,
okay,
So,
that's awesome. I feel like I need
yeah.
that now.
Yeah, so we are looking at going into mass production. I mean, we've been using some of them for our projects. We've used them on about 4 projects already, and they are working perfectly. So we are looking at, bringing in more products with that sort of protective component that can serve the whole of Ghana and probably the whole of Africa. You know, yeah.
Awesome. That So we look forward. I'm sure you will. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I think I froze for a little bit. I
Yeah,
think that's a great next step. So I'm sure you will keep GDN up to date on when you're rolling out all of those things so we can share it with our network and
definitely.
get some people aware of what you're offering. And so the very last thing is, what do you hope to achieve with the Lighting Hub within the next 5 years?
Okay. So our primary goal is, as I said earlier, trying to fix the problem down here with
Mm-hmm.
because from study we attribute most of our power situation here due to poor light and management,
Mm-hmm.
because people use light anyhow without really controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could actually have like very efficient LED products in the system, and I mean it's not consuming as much electricity as the old ones are using, and then having some sort of proper lighting controls to regulate your lighting to cut down on power situation. Now, there's a study we did some time back, and as we talk now, it's been implemented in India, and it's working
Mm.
perfectly. Where we use smart street light systems.
Ah,
You
okay. What's
know,
that?
okay, so usually on the roads from 6 p.m. till 8 9 p.m. That's when we have like the rush hour with a lot of cars on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's dark, you need the street lights to be full power.
Yeah.
Now from the hours of 10 to like midnight, you have very few cars on the road.
Yeah.
So what happens is the system is designed in such a way that it cuts the power by half.
Mm.
So you
So it
don't have a lot
basically
of.
goes out when it's not in high use.
Yes. So
Wow.
it reduces the consumption when the road is not being used. So
Gotcha.
between the hours of like 1 2 a.m. to like 3 4 a.m., you basically have nobody on the roads. So
Mm.
the power output in that is just 15%. So you are saving the whole how do we call it, 85% of the power.
Mm.
And I feel like these are some of the things we need to be looking at as a nation to regulate how electricity is used when it comes to lighting. Because from research, when you take a domestic space, for instance, about 70% of your consumption is from your lighting.
Mm.
So if you are not regulating this properly, how is that not going to affect your national grid?
Yeah. Wow.
So we are educating people. So in the next 5 years, our plan is to do a lot of education, create the awareness, let people know that look, this is how to go about some of these things. Let's do things right, and in the process, we still create a business for ourselves and fix the problem whilst we do business.
Mm. Well,
Yeah,
I believe in this vision. I think what you're doing is one of those unspoken necessities,
yeah,
right? And as we, especially when you're talking about energy and being healthy, using our resources to the best of
hmm,
our ability, not over consuming, right?
yeah,
As we're developing, we don't want to be over consumers. And
yeah.
so I'm most appreciative to you, Prosper, for joining us today. Thank
Thank
you
you, Zari.
for gifting Ghana with the Lighting Hub and really bringing awareness to some things that we don't have a lot of understanding about. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining us. How can people reach out to you?
Okay, so we are on Instagram, our social media handles. We have the Light and Hub GH.
That's on
That's
Instagram.
on Instagram, on Facebook. Yes. And then our website is thelightandhubgh.com. And then we'll share our office line so that at least anybody who has a project or anybody who needs some sort of consultation or any knowledge about lighting, they can reach out to us and we're always available to help.
Awesome. So we
Yeah.
have at the Lighting Hub GH. I put it in the comments. We also
Yeah.
have your website, thelightinghubgh.com. Thank
Yeah.
you again, Prosper.
Thank
I'm
you
sure
so
I'll
much,
see you
Nzali.
this December because you're gonna come to the
Definitely.
event.
Yes, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay.
And then maybe also for diaspora conversations, we usually have like vendor spaces as well. So maybe you could have like a stand for the Lighting Hub.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Well, it was
Thank
good
you.
having you today. I'm going to drop you
Same here.
down.
Same here. All right.
Bye,
Bye.
Prosper.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So Prosper, the Lighting Hub, Ghana. Again, this is a young gentleman, a diasporan. A Ghanaian who moved to the diaspora and then decided that it was time to come back home. He came back home. He has his business, the Lighting Hub, and he's really showing people how to effectively use lighting in their home, how to make sure you're being healthy while you're doing it, looking at your consumption of energy, and also looking at what's to come in this space across Africa and in the years to come. So, if you are a person again who is interested in figuring out how to do this thing called moving to Africa, moving to Ghana, then I want you right now to join the GDN network. I've put the QR code for you to scan it, and link up with us. All right, so you have that code. Make sure you reach out to us with GDN. Before we go, I do want to highlight some of the people who always work with us and sponsor us. That's going to be Pay Angel, and you're going to hear from them right now.
If you are in a diaspora, there's no other money transfer that you need to use other than Pay Angel. It's fast, secure, and convenient. And guess what? The exchange rate is off the roof. If you are interested in growing, uniting, and building Africa, use Pay Angel and also use the GUBA promo code.
Pay Angel, it's safe, fast, and secure.
All right. And before I let you go, there are two more things that I want to discuss with you. The first is our GUBA Foundation. So, as many of you know, we do a lot of work here in Ghana and abroad around autism and autism awareness. So, I do want to share with you a lovely, lovely location here in Ghana that specializes with children who have autism. So, I want to introduce you to the Nature Sprout.
I'm just amazed. This is so wonderful to see that there's somebody else has come and they're covering almost all the therapies I can think of in one place. This is so needed in Ghana. The library, the different rooms, everything is covered. And even as you enter, it's welcoming, so welcoming. And for somebody who has a son who is 42 years, where was a place like this when I first came to Ghana? If I had found a place like this, I don't think we'll be talking about what we've been doing in Ghana for the past 26 years. So I welcome Nature Sprouts. I'm thinking of collaborating with them all the way if they'll have me. And, I think I see wonderful things to happen for the children of Ghana. So thank you for inviting us to see this place. And I see a lot of great things happening for children who are neurodiverse. My name is Sewa Kweno, and popularly known as Auntie Sewa.
Yes. So if you are a person who has a child with autism, you know someone who needs those resources, then make sure that you go ahead and reach out to the Nature Sprout Academy. I believe they're located in East Legon. Now, as I said before, this is November, but December is fastly approaching. December in Ghana, aka Dirty December 2024, is fastly approaching. So GUBA is having our networking executive cocktail, which is going to be on December 21st at 355 Restaurant. And on January 2nd, we're going to be hosting our annual Diaspora Conversations, where we bring all of our government officials in one building to give you everything that you need to know about moving, living, and doing business in Ghana. Now, if you are just trying to come for a good time, to have a cultural experience, don't worry. GUBA Tours is also available to show you and introduce you to this beautiful place. Don't believe me, but take a look from them.
Are you a diasporan looking to reconnect with your roots? Experience Ghana like never before with GUBA Tours. Explore historic landmarks such as the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, the Kakum National Park, Elmina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, just to mention few. GUBA Tours offer both sightseeing and culture lessons like drum lessons, cooking lessons, dancing lessons, and many other more. Cover rich cultures, breathtaking landscapes, and hidden gems as you journey back home. Trust GUBA Tours to make your visit unforgettable. Your heritage, your tour, only with GUBA Tours.
All right, so I want to say thank you for joining us for this month's GDN Seat. We hope that you all enjoyed this session with Prosper. If you're watching for the replay, let us know where you were watching from. And again, if you want to reach out to Foster, he is thelightinghub.com. That's his website. You also can find him on Instagram at thelightinghubgh. All right, until the next time, people, stay blessed and always remember to keep your heart here with us in Africa. All right, take care. Bye, y'all.